Welcome to the Sports Show. It's already been a festive evening. Patrick Royce, Lavelle E. Neal, Sid Hartman. The last sport court you own, man. You sold it.
I hope nobody buys it and comes in and takes it off his back.
Yeah,
How many microphones did you sell,
but he
Sid?
will sign it.
Selling microphones?
You're a jerk.
Yeah, I am, man. I'm trying to help you out for charity, and
I don't need your help.
Okay. Trying to help.
How much did you sell, Sid?
I don't need your help.
What the hell?
Okay, let's start with Timberwolves.
Well,
Okay, first of all, can I say something?
we looked some stuff up today. I got this kid that helps me.
Of course.
And Mr. Rubio has the worst record of any guy in basketball the last 5 minutes or so of the game where they can make a shot. He's hitting 300, something like that.
You mean at crunch time?
Yeah, you can't make it.
Well, if he's shooting 30% at crunch time,
What's
that's
the
about
difference,
4
right?
points less than he's shooting the rest of the time.
I was going to say, how do you
get too
differentiate
worried.
that?
You're blaming Rubio.
Yeah.
They lost tonight to San Antonio, but here's my take on it. Kevin Love's a great player, but I'm out there a lot. He's not a leader. He's just a great player. Now, he thinks he's got to be a leader now because he's a great player, but he's not really a leader, Pat.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. I would like to give him credit for being smart enough to have his feud with Berea before they play the Charlotte Bobcats at home, so he can say, see, look at the leadership. I would have been more impressed if he'd done it Friday and then
Beat San Antonio.
Then you beat San Antonio, then I'd be more impressed. But
All that stuff's a bunch of crap. They go out and play, and it's got nothing to do with dissension, with chemistry. The greatest example of that was Charlie Finley's Oakland team. They had fights, they had everything going on, and all they did is win World Series. That's all. But
Bunch of crap.
yes.
But someone on that team has to stand up and say something once in a while. I know the timing was bad, but he acted the same day that Cunningham and Berea sat at the end of the bench and sulked because they weren't playing enough. So I don't see the problem with him nipping into the bud there. But what happens from here on now? He has to understand his place in this team and pick his spots.
I think he's smart enough to say, wait, I just went 4 for 20, and everybody's going to come in and ask me about being 4 for 20. But if I say Berea was pouting on the bench, nobody will ask me about being 4 for 20.
You're saying he was deflecting the blame.
He's either really
I'm saying
smart,
he's capable of anything.
or he was just frustrated and wanted to blame somebody else.
They're in big trouble then if the best player is deflecting the blame.
Burrow, there's a reason that
Let's not be ripping Dan
Dallas let
Ferraro.
him
He had
go.
nothing to
I
do
think
with
you mean
this.
J.J.
How about
Berea, just a guess. Go ahead.
J.J. Berea, okay.
There's a reason Dallas didn't keep him when they won a championship. So he might be a head case.
What?
Berea?
Berea.
Well,
He's a feisty little bugger.
He is.
I'll tell you one thing.
He tries to draw charges all
You
the
just
time.
brought it up, though. If there's 5 minutes to go in a game and they're 3 behind, I want Rubio sitting and I want Berea on the bench. On the
There's
floor.
a better chance something good will happen.
Who are their clutch players? Martin and maybe Love?
Not Martin.
Martin
Okay,
kind
well
of
then-
fades, and they don't feature him
Well, then they're
much in the
screwed
fourth
then.
quarter.
They don't have a clutch player on the roster.
Well,
Yeah, everybody after that game that they lost to Phoenix, everybody was talking about 2 guys sulking and them Love not making any shots. Why doesn't Kevin Martin make a 6-foot bunny when he runs across the lane that's going to win the game? It's a little tiny,
Well,
if someone
little
was
running layup shot. These guys don't have any finishers.
but they also lost the guy that made the shot. I forget his name now. Green for Phoenix. I mean, it was just a classic perimeter screen, and they lost him, which is part and
They
parcel of the
lost the
defense.
game
there's time to-
because Rubio turned the ball over.
But all they had to do was make one stop there at
Lost
the
it
end, and they won
because
the game.
Kevin Martin couldn't make a 6-foot shot.
The thing is, if they want to complain, they should complain after when they blew the lead against Oklahoma City and let Kevin Durant get anything he wanted.
Somebody
That was a bad loss.
asked me
At
Friday what it's going to take for the Wolves to make the playoffs, and I reminded them in 1960, the Minneapolis Lakers had an emergency landing in a cornfield.
In Iowa.
It's going to take 2 crashes in a cornfield of other planes, which nobody survives. I'm not wishing anybody any bad luck, but they need
Boy,
2
oh,
plane
boy.
crashes to make the playoffs.
You know, Shuby's not the problem. It's the defense. This team is a bad defensive team, especially when it comes to rotating and picking up guys swooshing to the basket.
So what do you think Flip Saunders does with this kind of Rubio situation? Because it's like a quarterback. You got to figure out if the guy can play or not, or if you got to make a move. What do you think he does?
Well, I think he'd make a move if there's something out there to make a move. Who would you trade? Love? Would you trade
no, I wouldn't
Rubio?
I got an idea.
Huh?
I'm just saying, how is he going to handle the point guard situation?
He'll handle the situation.
I got an
They're not
idea.
going to do anything. It's not that serious. It's just a bunch of newspaper talk, a bunch of radio talk, a bunch of your show
Yeah.
talk.
Hey, who brought it up? Kevin Love brought it up out of the blue. Nobody asked him about it. Hey, but I got an idea for Flip. Draft Trey Burke.
Oh,
First, when you get
Draft
shot
Trey-
at it.
How about drafting Trey Burke?
He
That'd be
did.
good. Oh, that's right. I forgot.
What, your thoughts?
I have
you
no
got one more
thoughts.
thing to say.
All I know is 1 week they're fantastic. They beat the heck out of people. They can't finish a game. And they're just like the Gopher basketball team. Every game they've won or something where they played anybody, they can't finish the games either.
Take a break, come back. You're watching The Sports Show.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Canterbury Park 24/7 Card Club. Don't forget the Card Club at Canterbury Park. Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing. And Cuisine Concepts. Franklin Street Bakery at 11th and Franklin in South Minneapolis, just down from Mall of America Field. And Taste of the NFL. Proud to be the premier Super Bowl party with a purpose to support hunger relief locally and nationally.
Quality. It's the result of shared values. The joy found in an honest day's work. Respect for true American craftsmanship and the need, not the want, to get things right. It's the result of remembering your roots, being forever humbled by how far you've traveled and forever hungry to push on further. Quality is a result. Quality is who we are. Cambria. Family owned, American made.
Watch ACC College Basketball Saturday at 3 on CW23.
Working from Camry today, Jan.
You'll love the Camry. It's comfortable and spacious. It's got all the latest tech.
Great.
Really fun to drive, too. Need something?
I need to show this Camry.
Can you hold?
Text savings to 69049 to discover great deals on your favorite Toyota models. Visit your local Toyota dealer today.
It all starts at Toyota. Let's go places.
Have you ever considered a career in the media arts?
I want to be a graphic designer.
I want to create animations.
I want to be a producer.
I want to code websites.
Minneapolis Media Institute offers a variety of programs, from digital art and design, game art and animation, to recording and music technology.
I can be anything I want to be.
I can be anything I want to be.
Minneapolis Media Institute. Start your future now.
Hi, at Dale Festi Automotive, we know you don't want to trust your car to just anybody. That's why we only hire ASE certified technicians to get the job right the first time. This commitment to excellence has led to being selected AAA Top Shop 12 years running. If you want your car fixed right the first time, bring it to Dale Festi Automotive in Hopkins. On the corner of 18th and Main Street and on the web at DaleFestiAutomotive.com. Mention that you saw this ad and get 15% off labor and installation.
Audi A4 drivers have spoken. And they rank the A4 highest in total quality index in its class. Experience the new Audi A4 at your local dealer today.
Looking for a nice, big, juicy rack of ribs?
Fabulous chops, huge steaks, and the Buddy Bowl? Then J.D. Hoyt's is the place for you. Hoyt's opened in 1983 And Mike Andrews and his partner John White have kept this Minnesota tradition at the top of the food chain. Managing owner Pat Montague gives us a tour.
At J.D. Hoyt's, enjoy a relaxed atmosphere, great food, friendly service, private dining room, second to none happy hour, just blocks from the new ballpark.
Located at 394 in North Washington. Locally owned, nationally known. Hoyt's.
J.D. Hoyt's, locally owned, nationally known, right there in downtown Minneapolis. It's a great place to stop by for a steak, a buddy bowl, and much more. J.D. Hoyt's, the gathering place in downtown Minneapolis.
I'll tell you one thing. You know what I'm excited about this week? The Gophers get a chance to beat Ohio State in a football stadium. Haven't done that in 30 years. It'll be great. So,
what type of crowd are you going to get for that?
They saying they sold 40,000 tickets.
For that
but
game?
Who shows up? I don't know. I don't get it. I got to admit, outdoor hockey, I
blame the Big Ten Network. They swooped in and made sure Ohio State was part of it. I would like to send North Dakota or Wisconsin. How about Scotty?
How about what are the prices for those tickets?
I have no idea. I don't have any idea.
You know?
I don't know what the prices are. But maybe that's the whole idea, because you bring in somebody like Ohio State that you weren't going to sell out. You know, you can sell them out. You can sell out Wisconsin at the big arena anyway.
It was supposed to be part of Hockey Day in Minnesota, but the Big Ten Network made them play it on Friday so they can put it on TV. So.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
Well, they had 100, how many had them in Michigan?
105,000.
Yeah.
I saw some.
Probably took in over millions of dollars.
I saw some camera angles that looked like it might have been hard to see the puck in that 105,000.
I think so. Don't you think?
Back for the experience.
Back there, those last 10 rows, it might have been hard to see the puck.
I think there were a lot of flask in those last 10 rows at the big house.
Patrick, the Wild win 4 in a row, lose 1 last night. I was out there at the
5 out of 6.
Colorado. It was actually a fun atmosphere out there, but then they come back tonight and win against Nashville.
Yeah, they're drawing like crazy, though. Over capacity every day. It's amazing.
Last night was a fun night there.
It's amazing how people are on their bandwagon. When they were in the middle of the losing streak, I was there one night, they had 500 over capacity. It's amazing the way they're drawn over there.
Why is that, you think? You think it's just carryover, Parisi and Suter, or what?
I think they got the families from Woodbury and Bloomington and Edina and Minnetonka, and mom and dad and the 2 kids are going to go to the hockey game, win, lose, or draw.
Lavelle, do you know how much has the Twins gotten cut into now that their honeymoon's kind of over and the losing has been so perpetual over there for 3 years? How much do you hear in terms of their concern about, you know, moving money to Wild, Sweets, or Timberwolves, whatever?
Well, all I know is that from the television ratings, I think the last...
That's a big loss.
Yeah, it was a big loss. Like half the ratings have dropped in half here over the last couple of years because of the multiple losses. And so they've got to be concerned. You'd think that would fuel them in some of their offseason moves. But right now, other than getting a couple decent pitchers, they haven't done much more than that. So they're setting themselves up for a lot of scrutiny and a lot of apathy in 2014.
It's interesting. They claim to have had 19,000 same...
Season tickets equivalents?
Yeah.
17,000.
Last year, they claimed that.
19 last year.
Yeah, we'll see what
Get
they're
back to
claiming
the
this
hockey
year.
thing. It's a unique thing. Every parent thinks that, like I talked to Bob Hagan today, he's coming back from Fargo, where his 13, 14-year-old kids playing in a tournament, driving 300 miles up there, 300 miles back to see his kid playing in a tournament. Yeah. That's the reason they sell out. Now, every parent thinks that their kid's going to be the next Wayne Gretzky.
I don't know what they think. That is that they get so invested because they got to be there all the time. You know, most sports you don't have to be at the practices and the games, but now you're sitting there writing checks out, and so you get involved in it.
Plus, here's what I always say: you all got your $250 jerseys, and you get the 13-year-old and the 10-year-old, and you go to the game, and they get beat 4-1. You're going to go get back in the car and complain all the way home about what a lousy experience it was? You just spent $500 to go to the game, and you've got $1,000 worth of jerseys. Are you going to
convince him it was a good time?
That was awful. I hate it. I'll never go back. No, you're going to say, we had a couple of pipes, you know.
That's right.
The hockey fan is the most loyal fan there is. Louie Nanny will sit there and tell you that hockey's more popular than baseball, than basketball, football.
I don't think Louie will tell you it's more popular.
Even Louie can't go do that one.
Say that.
He'll tell you that they all the pluses.
Okay.
Hockey, you got 150 high school hockey teams in the state of Minnesota. You got 400 or 500 basketball schools.
Oh, no question.
But the parents are the hockey parents are crazy. The basketball parents at least have a normal mentality.
Wow.
So let me ask you,
just don't like hockey.
Who do you think, what team in town is the best value? If you're going to tell somebody to buy a ticket, who do you think gives the best value for what you pay for a ticket and what you get in entertainment?
That's what you like.
No, but just who do you think?
Who do I
If
think?
somebody was going to ask, they didn't care what the sport was.
I think baseball gives you the best value. You can buy a cheap ticket and get
those
and
$250 Champions Club seats?
I don't know. But
and those $75 Legends Club seats?
I guess if you're talking about getting in a stadium, right?
Yeah.
What do you think, Patrick?
Well, the Wolves probably.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
I would say Wolves.
Upstairs, if you're willing to sit upstairs, you can get in pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Wolves are pretty good, and you know what? As much as frustrating as they are this year, they're fun to watch.
Absolutely.
They might get 110.
Right.
They're going to score. They're going to give up.
And you'll see some great
115.
plays out there, you know, that you don't see in any other sport athletic-wise.
How about baseball? Can't you buy cheap tickets?
Yeah, you can. But then you got to watch the Twins.
How did you set your ticket prices for the Lakers? How did you decide what you'd price them at?
Oh, our tickets were $2.40.
That was for a good seat?
That's what they were.
Did you sell many season tickets or not?
We didn't sell many season tickets.
It was more a game day deal.
We sold out one. The years that we won 5, 6 championships, so we sold out every game.
Okay.
I think I just saw somebody sent me some tickets for the World Series, just the tickets, that were used, and I think it was like sitting downstairs, $8 or something like that.
You mean back in the day?
65.
Are you going to buy a strip for the All-Star game?
Oh, yeah. By the way, my home run derby tickets are for sale at a double face value.
What if Sano?
I have no interest.
Sano may be in the home run derby.
I don't care.
I'm just kidding.
I hope so. Boost the price up.
You went to a Laker game or two, didn't you?
Nah, never went to a Laker.
You never got to one, huh?
Never saw one.
You just missed them, huh?
Missed some. I saw some Millers and Saints baseball games, but I never went to a Laker game.
Take a break, come back, Sports Show.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Allery's, the original St. Paul sports bar, now with 65 beers on tap.
Attention, please get a pencil. Announcing a hearing breakthrough, a microchip that is so small it can fit on the head of a pen, worn hidden entirely in your ear canal, making you hear clear as a bell, and it's proudly made in the USA. Do you feel left out of conversations? Is it difficult to hear words in noisy environments? Do others say that you listen to the TV or radio too loudly? Do you feel like a bother to others due to your problems hearing? If you answered yes, you may qualify for this new chip in the ear. Only 50 participants are needed to try this microchip, so get a pencil. Call now to see if you qualify. This revolutionary chip actually mimics the natural sound selection of the human ear. With multi-core microprocessors, technology used in the most advanced computers, sounds are analyzed and classified each millisecond, controlling noise and making speech clear. Do not wait. Call now to see if you qualify to wear this revolutionary new microchip.
I have evidence that proves my dad's a space alien. Speaks a weird language. Drinks green stuff. He says he's from Albuquerque. I'm not buying it. I mean, just look at him. And one more thing. He has a spaceship. The evidence doesn't lie. My dad's an alien.
The highly advanced Audi A6, named to car and drivers 10 best. Experience exceptional value on the Audi A6 at your local dealer today.
Was just out there today visiting with Bruce Bonine and Charlie and the whole gang. Audi Minneapolis, 394 in General Mills Boulevard, the perfect time to buy that A8 is now. Welcome back to the Sports Show. Minnesota Vikings probably have a head coach by the end of the week.
Here's the thing. They must be interested in somebody who's still in the tournament.
Thomas, who's the defensive line coach for the 49ers.
They more interested in him than Greg Roman?
Some people think that. I don't know if that's true. Obviously, Zimmer, they talk about having another interview with as well.
Yeah, they set up a second interview with Zimmer. And you know what? The thing about Zimmer is that the Bengals offense hasn't been electrifying. So the reason they've been pretty competitive, I think, has been because of the defense. And Zimmer has had his fingerprints over that last
57 years old, never had a head coaching job, though. Why?
That's a good point. But, you know, someone's got to get a shot once in a while.
I like the guy, you know, who knows? When you're hiring assistants, coordinators, you're throwing darts.
Yeah.
But I like Ben Roman. I like Greg Roman. I think he's a bright guy. Harbaugh's offensive guy.
As far as Roman goes, Harbaugh calls the plays.
No, he doesn't.
He don't call them, but he's on them all
well,
the
you
time.
just said he called the plays, and I said no, he don't. Now you say he did. Which is it?
Harbaugh's got a lot to say what happens to offense during the game.
That's good.
I
But
guarantee.
anybody who can survive being around him for 5 or 6 years can take the heat. I'll tell you that.
Why do you think Spielman's done it this way? He obviously knew he wasn't going to get a high-profile guy because he wanted to go through this whole process.
I don't know what's going on. I think the best candidate for this job.
Here we go.
The two guys, I think, Bevel.
He's out.
He's not.
I knew that was coming.
He's not in there. But Jack Del Rio has proved
Local tie.
He's not involved.
Minnesota tie.
Just a little bit. Del Rio, you can make a case for.
Did they even interview him?
How do you know who they're talking about?
Did they even interview him?
They haven't interviewed him that I know of.
Who, Del Rio? I don't know if they have.
How do you?
I'm just so thankful that your shirt is still there today, man.
How do you know?
If you'd have remembered yesterday,
How do you know who they're talking to? Who
I
they're
just
not
told you
talking-
Bevel was out, and you told me you agreed. Bevel was out.
I didn't say Bevel was out. I
What did you
think
say?
Bevel would be a good choice.
Well, you just said you thought he was
Because
out.
he used to
You
work for the
said he
Vikings.
was out.
I think he's out.
Because he used to work for the Vikings.
How do you know?
I think he's out. That's what I said. I think he is.
Yeah.
I think he
You
is.
have no basis for it.
I think he is.
Yeah.
You got to read Jay Glazer and Adam Schefter.
Yeah, we
They're
won't
the
know.
ones Spielman talks to.
We won't know anything until Spielman
They're the
calls
ones-
Glazer to tell him who got the job.
Spielman will call Glazer. and
What do you
tell
think of the playoffs today, Patrick? Or this weekend?
Well, they weren't as good as last week, but they certainly got the semifinalists they want,
Yes.
don't they? Manning versus Brady and Seattle and San Francisco.
That's about as good as you can get, yeah.
It is. They're two. I felt bad for Carolina because he got off to a good start against the 49ers, but San Francisco came back. The Broncos, I was surprised they broke down in the fourth quarter and gave as many points as they did. But, you know, Peyton Manning at that offense, it's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable what he's doing. The passes he needs to make at the right times. And they run out of the Noshawn Moreno was a beast today. I like the Brady-Manning matchup. And I think Seattle and San Francisco is basically a gang war. It is. Two teams don't like each other,
When
man.
you got two college coaches that go back to college and not like each other, that's pretty
coaches
good.
that don't like each other, two teams who are bullies and like to beat up and taunt everybody. It is going to be one of the great conference championships.
Thank God Carolina didn't stay alive because of the cheapest roughing call in the history of mankind.
Oh, hold on.
Did
The
you
officials-
see that at the end?
No, I didn't.
He gets the San Francisco guy puts a rush on Newton. He gets basically tackled by some guy trying to keep away from the quarterback, and he ends up falling into Newton, and then the idiots call a throw a flag.
The officiating crews had a bad weekend, a terrible weekend, man. There was one play today in the Broncos game. They called up a pass interference penalty, put the ball on the 45-yard line on the wrong side of the 50. So one of the sideline officials that was in contact with the league had to call him over and say, "No, you have to put the ball on the other side of the 50."
That's not good.
No, it's not.
No, that's not a good way to start it. Take a break, come back, finish up the sports show.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Case Law, for all your legal needs, not your typical law firm. And Griffin Bail Bonds. It's better to know us and not need us than to need us and not know us.
If you guys could go on a free shopping spree anywhere, where would you go? I'd go to the grocery store. Pizza, ice cream. I'd go shop for clothes. You know where I go? I'd go to Ticket King. Ticket King! At Ticket King, you can buy great seats for the Vikings, Christian Ponder, the Wild, Zach Parisi, the Timberwolves, Ricky Rubio, and of course the Twins. We love the Twins. Yes, this is where I go. Vikings, Twins, Wild, Timberwolves, Gophers, theater, and concerts too. Justin Bieber! Hey, I like him first. For details, go to TicketKingOnline.com. Any ticket, anytime, anywhere. It's the real thing. It's Ticket King. Right, Dad?
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
That's for sure.
This week, the Clemson Tigers host the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest. Watch ACC college basketball Saturday at 3 on CW23.
Hi, I'm I'm Daryl Johnston. Once again, Taste of the NFL is the hottest ticketed Super Bowl. Join me, along with countless other NFL stars, as we take over Brooklyn on Saturday, February 1st, for the annual Party with a Purpose, where food, football, and fun come together to help kick hunger in America. For tickets or more information, visit tasteofthenfl.com.
There it is, Taste of the NFL. It'll be a great thing out in New York, in that area, New Jersey. Wayne Kostrowski and the crew got the big event, Super Bowl week. Check out more at www.tasteofthenfl.com.
Bring your coat.
I got a question for LaBelle here. As a proud alum of the University of Illinois, even though your degree's from Chicago Circle instead of Champaign.
Circle doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, well, whatever we call it. What's happening to your athletics down there? Your football's gone completely in the tank, and now your basketball team struggling to beat Northwestern today. What's going on?
I'm not worried about the basketball program. We've got 7 newcomers. It's a very young team. John Gross, I think, is a hell of a coach.
Okay.
And we're heading in the right direction. Football, I don't know what the hell's going on with Tim Beckman, because he's supposed to be a defensive guy, and we are just a conduit to the end zone for the other team's offense. All right, so I can't defend football.
Period. Why can't they win? They got St. Louis right how many miles from Champaign?
Like a 3-hour drive.
They got Chicago. They got the whole
drive.
state of Illinois where they play much better sports than playing in the state of Minnesota or Wisconsin.
Easier said than done, but you have to understand, Northwestern recruits in that area, Notre Dame recruits in that area, Michigan, all these other schools come in and have their hands in on the Chicago area because it's fertile.
Were you satisfied with the Gopher basketball team's effort at Michigan State, even though they lost? They went to overtime in a tough place?
I wasn't satisfied with it because the second half I thought that the Michigan State coach did a fantastic job defensing them. Hit all those 3-point shots in the first half. They came back, they tied it in overtime. But they're better than I thought they would. But how they'll finish, I don't know.
They've had the same problem virtually all season, though. They get these 8-minute dead periods where they, even when they're playing dogs, they let teams back in. And yesterday, they didn't score for no field goals for 13 minutes.
Yeah, they had some free throws in there.
They went belly up in overtime. They fought hard. Matthew hits the layup to tie the game, although I thought he got fouled in that play.
Williams Arena, he might have been shooting a free throw.
But they went belly up in overtime. And, I know every team does it before conference schedule, but when you're playing like San Francisco Valley State, to build up a 13-4 record. I mean, come on, we have to.
That was a nice get, though.
They had trouble with some of those non-conference teams at the end of the game.
That was a nice get, that Matthew. I like him. He is quick. He might be the quickest guy in the Big Ten.
Pitino picked the right guys from that program to bring with him, Smith and Matthew.
Well, Matthew was a JUCO.
How about your boy Mo Walker?
He was committed to them, though.
Yeah.
Your boy Mo Walker loses all that weight. He's in shape. Everybody's saying, oh, look how he's changed his body. He's going to be great. How much has he contributed this year? You got to have some sort of post presence in the Big Ten once conference schedule begins.
I don't
think the Wolves.
I did a tirade.
The Gophers don't have much.
I did a tirade on the radio about people are saying Mo's getting used to his new body.
Really?
Yeah. I said, as a guy who's lost 100 pounds, it's not a problem getting rid of your new body. It's not a problem. It's not a problem, the fact that he can now run from one end of the court to the other.
How's your post game?
It's not a problem.
How's your post game now?
I'm sure I'm probably a little more durable.
Are Twins going to make some moves here next month? What do we got left in the tank?
Right now, it's bargain basement shopping based on what's available, unless they decide to go after a guy who they have to give up a second-round pick.
Who's out there?
Nelson Cruz could be an outfielder, can hit the ball over the fence a little bit, but they have to give up a draft pick.
How about Garza, though? Is he still waiting to see what happens with Tanaka? Who doesn't get Tanaka? Is that the deal?
Well, him and Obaldo Jimenez is still out there as well.
I'll give you $10 for that.
I'm hanging on to this thing, man. I don't want it going anywhere. Hide this thing.
You are a jerk.
It's a good-looking shirt.
Yes, it is.
Back here next week on The Sports Show. Have a good week, everybody.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Canterbury Park 24/7 Card Club. Don't forget the Card Club at Canterbury Park. Cambria, makers of quality quart surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing. And Cuisine Concepts. Franklin Street Bakery at 11th and Franklin in South Minneapolis, just down from Mall of America Field. And Taste of the NFL. Proud to be the premier Super Bowl party with a purpose to support hunger relief locally and nationally.